Welcome back to another adventure of Henry surviving the zombie apocalypse. Now that I've gotten to my new base, it is time to sort some things out. I decide to cook up a nice stew so my body will have fuel to heal my recent injuries. For some reason, the game isn't letting me eat the stew. I'll have to put this in the fridge until the game corrects the mistake. I get a good night's sleep and decide to hook up and fuel the generator to be at the ready for when the power cuts out. I drive back to my riverside base to pick up the last of my supplies, including some furniture to make the base a little more comfortable. I stop by a house to grab a propane tank from the barbecue. That will come in handy for metalworking and auto repair. I dispatch with a zombie and load the tank into my van. Some zombies have made their way towards the van and I take care of them quickly with my trusty metal bar. Now it's time to loot the house. What sort of treasures will we find today? So far I find a hammer and duct tape. I don't think I need the saw, so we'll leave that behind. I nab the ValueTech TV with built-in VCR, and I also take the little table it sits on to use at my new base. We get lucky in the bedroom with a gun case, a Desert Eagle pistol, and some .44 Magnum rounds. In the gun case is an M1911, a magazine, and more rounds for the pistol. I decide to pick up the table lamp and the nightstand. This will look good in my new bedroom. After dropping those items in my van, I return to get the bookcase and fridge. I have to unload a lot of my gear as the fridge is rather heavy even when empty. I manage to return to my original base and begin loading supplies into the van. I like the original table the TV sits and decide to take that one for the Phallus Lake base instead. I attempt to get another bookcase, but my luck in that department vanished. I collect the remaining food I've stockpiled at this point, and I drive back to my new base and fill up the tank while power still remains. I decide to unload my food into the fridges on the main level. Might as well take advantage of them and the temporary peace outside of my base. Who knows how long it will be until the zombies attack again. After covering those basics and placing some furniture, I catch Life and Living while doing a little reading of Carpentry Volume 2. I hear some noises outside and move to investigate. A couple of zombies have migrated over. After taking out those zombies and doing a quick survey around my new base, I decide to continue with my redecorating. While in the kitchen, I think of ways to maximize my space. Having achieved my basic goals, it's time to set some new ones. The first thing I'm looking at is an oak corner, 2 oak counters, and 4 floating cupboards. I spend the rest of the day reading and getting a good night's sleep to start the next day's tasks. I cautiously drive to the restaurant across the street to find more food supplies. The front door is locked, but the back door is not, so I make my way inside and see what I can grab. We find a lot of great food and a closet with some much-needed cleaning supplies. I decide to head over to EP Tools. The door is locked, so I decide to take it off the hinges as I currently don't have a sledgehammer. I find some useful books and magazines to speed up my skill grind. We grab a propane torch, some wire for traps, a box of screws, twine, rope, and tape, followed by the master key that is the sledgehammer. I gain a level in light-footed movement and proceed to explore more of the town. I encounter a small horde and strike them down as quickly as I can. I make my way into one of the shops, defeat a zombie, and loot the food that hasn't started to rot. Another zombie tries to break in, so I decide to put him out of his misery while I get out of the building. I find a window to replace the one that was damaged at the base. Then I decide to clean up some of the zombie blood up by the front door. After sorting more inventory, I hop back into my van for more looting of the neighborhood and clearing of zombies. I make my way into the farming store. This will be a good source for growing my own food and getting guns and ammo. I find seeds for a variety of vegetables. I find another hand axe, which will be good for zombie defense and adequate for log harvesting. And I find a garden fork for farming, but it also comes in handy as a strong ranged zombie weapon. I find a school bag and equip it as a secondary to load more farming supplies. I find some much needed fishing supplies that will be useful at the lake by the new base. I put the school bag in the van and head to the gun section of the store. A zombie is there to greet me and I offer my traditional zombie handshake. I find a great deal of ammo for a variety of firearms. I take what I can carry and load it into the van. I return to the store and decide to take the gun lockers to use in my base, but I only manage to successfully grab one. After returning home, I put the gun locker in the bedroom and begin to load it up with all of my guns and ammo. After spending the rest of the day organizing my inventory, sorting my weapons, food, and farming supplies, I decide to take a load off and work on my fitness and reading. It's going to get hot and uncomfortable with all this exercise, so I might as well put my clothes in the closet so I don't have to launder them after my workout. While I do that for the rest of the day, why don't you hit that like and subscribe button for more Zomboid action?